You've watched leaders who move people through significant transitions with grace and momentum. What are they actually doing?
Yeah, I can think of a few right now. You could tell it makes me smile. They do 4 things, and these things are repeatable. You can learn them. Anybody can learn them, and anybody can practice them. But first, they explain the real story first. They don't give you the sanitized version. They don't give you the executive summary. They give you the actual story. And that doesn't mean revealing information that's confidential. That's another misstep.
Mhm.
They talk about what genuinely is going to be different, what will be changing, and what problem or opportunity you're solving or that you're chasing with this change. And so in this moment, they're also explaining why it's important to do now, not next year, not why didn't we do it a year ago. They're explaining how it's relevant to that person right now.
So you're giving them the real story.
Yes, the real story. And your team can smell BS from a mile away. So they've developed a highly attuned radar for when they are being fed corporate speak. And so when you give them the truth, even complicated truth, even the parts that are really, really hard, they're actually a lot more likely to follow you somewhere, anywhere than if you give them vague platitudes. I mean, you and I went through this with a company that was going through a really rough financial patch. And I remember that one senior leader was people would have run through brick walls for him and with him because he was frank. And when things started to get really, really hard financially and people were impacted financially, if you remember, people didn't leave. They stayed with him. And the story became how we all stuck together through this, and that was largely because of how he navigated those change conversations.
Well, let's talk about that. What is it that he actually did? What does that sound like?
He would come in, he wouldn't come in with any fluff, and he would say, "Hey, I'm gonna tell you, here's what's happening. Here's why we're doing this. This is gonna be harder. It's gonna be a lot harder for a moment, and here's what we're gonna gain from it. Not gonna pretend that I have all the answers right now, and I'm not gonna tell you how this is gonna unfold because I don't actually know that yet, but you have to believe me that I'm in this with you, and we're gonna do this together." And that's the real story. So you can see that in that dialogue there, what he did was he translated. He didn't like transmit. So picture if a CEO gets up in a quarterly meeting and talks about leveraging synergies and driving operational excellence, and it's all abstract, right? When you're talking to the people that are actually doing the work, your team is just sitting there thinking, well, I have time for more deep work. Will my workload double? Am I going to have to share my work with somebody else now when I'm used to being the one that executes upon it? So they're thinking, who decided, who made this decision anyway? Who was the one that was responsible for making this change initiative happen? And what does this actually mean on a Tuesday morning for me?
So there's a and can be a huge gap, right, between what the CEO is saying and actually what the team is hearing.
Yeah, massive gap. Your job as a leader is to stand up in that gap and to translate it, but it's to take a big picture and sort of make it small picture for the person that you're talking to or the group that you're talking to. So, what will actually look different in your Tuesday morning is this: what is changing about how you work? It's one, two, three. What is staying the same so that you know you have something to anchor to? And when you do that kind of translation work, the change suddenly becomes real and manageable. They feel understood because you're also connecting it down to the level that they operate at every day. And then it becomes less terrifying and less abstract.